I was really nervous here, Monse, that we were going to be talking about the obituary of the 2024 NBA Finals, but your Mavericks
are alive. You know, there's so many things that I feel when it comes to this series, Steve. So many, and this is, they're not my Clippers, right? So I'm not angry because it's not really my team, but man, just like so many layers to what has happened the first 4 games. To me, Luka Doncic took the bait in the first half of the first game. Took the bait that the Celtics were doing, which was, we're going to let you do whatever you want, but we're going to stop everyone else. And what have we been talking about throughout the series or throughout the playoffs with the Mavs? That everybody was stepping up to their role. Everybody was delivering, not just Kyrie, even though Kyrie was amazing, and Luka. After the first half of the first game, Luka took the bait and thought, okay, I guess I have to do it all by myself. And it did not work. It did not work.
So I have become less of a Luka fan as the series has gone on. I mean, seriously, I look at I don't watch Mavericks religiously.
Sure, yeah.
I know what the numbers say. First team All NBA 5 consecutive years, and he's had a great run to get his team to the NBA Finals. But his antics during these finals, what he did at the end of Game 3 with those back-to-back fouls to foul out of the game, and he's crying, complaining. Dude, those were blocks.
Yeah.
When you extend your leg, you are going to be called for a block.
Yeah, no.
So the bottom line is you got to play smart. Those are dumb fouls. Great players don't make dumb fouls when your team has miraculously overcome a 21-point deficit to cut it to 3 with still 4.5 minutes remaining in the game. I mean, it's anybody's game at that point. And you get 2 stupid, bonehead fouls called against you, complaining that somehow you deserve different treatment. Sorry. I love when they were reviewing the last foul, which obviously fouled him out of the game. And they're trying to say, well, maybe. I'm like, no, there's no maybe. He extended his leg. That is a block. And so when the official said, yeah, that's a block, you are DQ'd from the game, I'm like, good for you, because that was the right call. But this is something that if you are a great player, you need to be there at the end of the game for your team. He, through his own stupidity, abandoned his team in the pivotal game of this series, Game 3. Your team has made this miraculous fourth-quarter comeback to put themselves in a position to make it a 2-1 series. Right now, we could be talking about 2-2 going back to Boston. But no. You played stupid basketball. You get fouled out of the game. Your team loses. You're down 3-0. No team's ever overcome a 3-0 deficit in any round of the playoffs in NBA history. They lose this series. This is squarely on the shoulders of Luka Doncic.
And you're not wrong, and I think he knows that too, which is why he took the bait so early on in the series, and I agree with you. And it wasn't even just that play. The entire game, he was playing frustrated. He was playing like he needed to catch up. And yeah, you were down 2-0, but you were still in it. You had an opportunity, like you just said, to make it a 2-2 series at this point, but you let your emotions get the best of you. You became frustrated, and the entire game, you complained. Several moments where you complained the Celtics got an easy bucket. Several. Not 1, not 2. Where's my not 1, not 2, not 3? I need that right now. But legit, why? Why did you handle this entire game like that? The entire game! Not just at the end. You played frustrated after the first half of the first quarter of the first game all the way through Game 4. Well, all the way through Game 3. Game 4, you came out, and I don't know if they gave him happy pills. I don't know if they injected him with happy sauce, but he came out there just like smiling and like having a good time, and it's like, where was this? Honestly, did they give him happy pills? What happened there? A completely different person.
By the way, if you're wondering about when Game 5 is.
When is it?
Monday.
Of course it is.
So it's not tomorrow, it's Monday. And then if there's a Game 6, it's Thursday.
Why?
And if there's a Game 7, it's Sunday. So they're really dragging this thing out right now. Look, when you have a blowout of that magnitude in the postseason, much less the NBA Finals, it happens for two reasons. Reason one is you have a desperate team needing to win to stay alive, which Dallas was in that position. But to have that kind of a loss, you also have a team that really mails it in.
Yeah.
And that was the Boston Celtics. It was their lowest scoring half in the entire season in that first half. You watch this Boston team say to themselves, all right, come on. We got the one game we wanted. We want to wrap this up. Game 5. We can win any game we want. Game 5, we'll win at home. And I'm like, whoa, Boston. Whoa. Last year, Eastern Conference Finals, you're playing the 8th seed Miami.
And what happened?
And you were down 3-0 in that series. You come back, you win 3 in a row, including 2 on the road to set up Game 7 home. Done. You're going to be the first team ever to overcome a 3-0 deficit to win a series. And then Tatum gets banged up, hurt, and they play like dogs, and they get blown out on their home court in a Game 7. So they better be careful in this Game 5 if they play with anywhere near the lack of intensity we saw in Game 4. This thing could be heading back to Dallas.
You know, psychologically in their head, they're thinking nobody's ever come back from being down 0-3. But the thing is, the way basketball is now with the high-level scoring and the threes, nothing is guaranteed. You can't be comfortable. And they gave up so fast last night that I was like, man, if I was at this game, I would be such an upset fan because in the fourth quarter, who am I watching? None of the stars. And it's like, I understand you're getting blown out and you're just like, whatever, let's pack it up. You should have been playing. You should have been playing in the fourth quarter. Like, you should have at least pretended for a hot second that you were still trying. But you threw in the towel so early. I really was like, man, I would be so annoyed if I was a fan watching this game in person, paying how much money probably for this game? And then all of you are sitting in the entire fourth quarter?
Well, keep in mind the Celtics had won 10 straight playoff games.
Yeah.
That was the first time in their history, the history of the Celtics, 17 championships, that they had won 10 consecutive playoff games. They had not lost a playoff game on the road. And then you lose by what, 38? I mean, it was just
ridiculous.
Absolutely absurd. By the way, I was thinking about Celtics legacy, right?
Yes.
And this is coming from a Celtic hater. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat this.
Yes.
I've been a lifelong Celtics hater. And by the way, just the quick note about the passing of Jerry West, who was my greatest sports hero as a kid. I know I'm aging myself, but the fact is, when I was a kid and basketball was my favorite sport to play, it's the only one I was good at. I was too skinny for football, and I couldn't hit a lick, but I could play basketball. And when I had a chance to wear a jersey number, I always wore 44 because of Jerry West. And he was a wonderful man, just absolutely wonderful man. He had a long life, and no one lives forever. But he was the MVP of the 1969 NBA Finals, the first one I remember watching. I was in 5th grade at the time, and it was a heartbreak. The home team won all 6 games. Game 7 was at the Forum. This is it. The Lakers are going to... And they lose to Bill Russell, what turned out to be his last game. But keep in mind about the Celtics' 17 championships. In their first 30 years in the NBA, 40 years, excuse me, first 40 years of the NBA, they won 16 championships. In fact, if you go the first 10 years, they won none. So in a 30-year span, from Bill Russell's rookie year until the last championship they won with Larry Bird, Bill Walton was on that team in 86. In a 30-year span, they've won 16, more than half the championships. Now, in the 36 years since, they've won 1.
Yeah.
1. So 16 championships in 30 years, 1 in the last 36 years. So I can understand if you're a Celtic fan, man, you
feel like Clipper fans.
Yeah, pretty much.
You feel like Clipper fans.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, they've won 1 championship since 1986. Yeah. So it's going to be a big deal for them, but they're going to be feeling the pressure. I'm telling you.
Yes.
They're going to come home. There would have been less pressure in a Game 4 on the road than there is when you come home, as their fans expected last year in that Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Wow, we're going to make history tonight. And they laid an egg.
And we've seen the Celtics not just do that once or twice, but several times, losing to teams, losing in games when you should not have lost. And if that happens on Monday, and they go back to Dallas, you're telling me Dallas is not going to win that game? All of a sudden, we have a game 7. Like, there's a real possibility.
Yeah, and then as the Celtics found out last year, all the pressure would be on you.
All the pressure would be on you.
So you can say they mailed it in, but you gave Dallas confidence.
You gave them too much confidence.
Jason Kidd, they showed him pregame talking about, I hope you guys are packed for Boston because we're going back to Boston. We're not going to lose this game. And it was a mail-in job. By the way, good news for the NBA. Ratings were up significantly in Game 2 after bad ratings in Game 1. Game 2, I haven't seen the Game 3 ratings. So a little more fanfare in terms of the NBA Finals.